Today on Write Productively, we're going to have a look at my writing systems to give you an idea of what can be built and what we're going to look at going forward. So let me walk you through my systems so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about systems. So this is my writing hub, if you like, and I use basically two applications to do everything. One which is ToDoist, which I use for my task management, and then my knowledge management I use an application called Notion, which is basically it's like Evernote on steroids. So it's like a notebook, but it's got some database features. And when I first started using it, I just used it for the sort of notebook features. And then as I've gone on, I've kind of used more and more of the database features. So right, let's take you through. So where should best to start? Let's go through Notion. I've got it on the screen here. So this is my Notion homepage, and I've built this up over time. So on my one of the things I really want to do is I often see these wonderful demos of people say, this is my workspace, and they're heavily sanitized and, you know, perfect. This is, you know, this is my workspace. There's still stuff that I haven't finished. There's things that I'm tweaking. So, you know, you're going to see some things that you think, well, that needs a bit of polish. So the main thing I start off with each day is I have an area called daily. I've created one there. And basically all it is, I have to link it through to a week, and there is a reason for all that. But basically I have all my working hours, and basically I have accountability in there. So I literally, it's nothing too fancy. It's just helpful for, well, one, it's helpful for sort of day job stuff. If people say, well, what have you been working on today? But it's also helpful for, you know, if you're writing, if you can, you know, if you lose an hour to 2 hours to Netflix each week, it's easy to see. Now, my plan is to extend this a little bit, because for the writing, most of my writing is around here, and then I tend to sort of go out. But you know, for a start, it's, you know, it's really handy for me just to know what I've been working on. So I will have that. Now you'll notice down here how many words I've written so far today. So I also have how many I've edited. This is pulled through from somewhere else, and this is one of the things I really like about Notion, is that you can start using database features to pull stuff through. So it keeps a log, and I'll show you where I do this, of how much I've written, how much I've edited each day. It also links. You have this thing in Notion where when you create a link to another database, it kind of puts a reverse link. So these are reverse links. So I will show you where these two come from. So for this one, this actually comes from my writing log. So I have a writing metrics database. So here we go. So for today, there we go. So basically, with this is my writing log, and I've built this from scratch, and it's super simple to do. And what I love about this is that because it took me like probably an hour or two to figure out, it rolls up. So what it does is I enter everything I write in here. Not only does it consistently tell me what writing speed I'm at, which gives me a really good idea of what sort of pace I can do. It also, because like if you look here, I've chosen, here we go, it links in today. So remember I said when we looked at the day chart, basically there was, I said there was like this reverse lookup. This is where that happens. Now the reason I link it into a day is because the day is linked into a week, the week is linked into a month, the month is linked into a quarter, and the quarter is linked into a year. Which sounds really complicated. It's basically the same formula all the way through. And it allows me to very, very easily see how much I've written and edited over the course of the year. Like, I don't have to do anything, absolutely anything at all. So this is very simple. So I'm just going to create a new one. I'm going to delete it afterwards. So let's say I've written this as a piece of called test. Date. I can put title in there. I may get rid of this. I never really use this yet. But as I say, everything's a work in progress. I think when I originally built it, the idea was the title was this, but I have it here, so I don't need it elsewhere. So I link it through to my day. I've got my headphones in the way here. Let me just move those. So let's go to September. September the 2nd. Now, okay, that's the one I want. Oh, and I've linked through because I've clicked it. There we go. Now you might say, well, why have you do it twice? Well, one, this is just a calendar date. Two, this is linking to the database entry. But you just do that. So type, it's writing, it's first draft, what writing project it is, and I have a database of all my various writing projects. So let's say it is the climb, which is non-fiction. There we go. Add that. So what was my word count for it? So it's naught, and my started at naught, and I finished at 525. So making this up. Now the reason I have a start count there is because sometimes if I'm working on a chapter or something like that, I might actually start at 525, and then I will finish at 855. There we go. So there we go. 300. And it automatically works out how many words that I've written. Now, you'll see that I don't have a pace here. And the reason for this is because you have to then come into the date, include the time. So we started that, let's say we started that at 9 a.m. And then we did to 9:25. So the reason I do it that way is because if I turn it off, if you do the end date first and then do the time, then it will both say 12 a.m. Whereas if I do, this is just a quirk of Notion. If I do include time first, and I say 9 a.m. and then end time, it will put the end time to the start time. That makes sense. So it says 9 a.m. instead of 12 a.m. Just a little kind of quick hack. And that's just a function of Notion and the way it works. So what do we say? 25. So I've put that in. So now it tells me what my writing pace is. 792 words a minute. And what you will see has happened is in my daily, it's 947 now gone up to. But let's say that test, this is where it gets exciting. Let's say we didn't write, but we edited instead. So we change that to edit. Doesn't really change anything here. But what it does here is it basically says, right, you've done 17 new words and 330 edited. Okay, so that is really straightforward. So what happens is the daily links into a weekly. So again, we have dates to say what it covers. So, and what I do here, the pictures, you can add pictures to all your pages in Notion, and I, just out of habit, just to try and give myself a little bit of a visual cue, is I make sure that all my weeks have pictures of landscapes, pictures of places. So as I'm going around, I'll take a picture, and it'll be a picture of the week. So if you go into my weekly, literally, these are all pictures. As as you get back into the winter, it gets snowy and cold and Christmassy and things like that. So, and you'll see that I have like a week ahead as well. So I have a literally every Monday I will create as I'm going to the new week. I will create for the next week, so that way I can sort of plan ahead a little bit. Let's go back to the homepage and do it from there. So in that I can, and I don't heavily link, I can link to some of my plans and objectives for the year. It's not showing any there. I need to type something. So I've got different things like fitness, budget, all your week, all you want, what you want for the year. I put something that is like my focus for the week, which for this week, for example, what I've said is that I want to do more things but smaller amounts of them. So instead of doing big projects, I will have for the end of the week an effectiveness, so I can rank how effective I've been. I can link through to tasks. Now, tasks is something I use, as I say, I use a separate app for tasks. I did go through a really big stage where I tried to build all my tasks in Notion, and I did it, absolutely did it, and I had it so that all my different life pillars basically filtered on them. It was fantastic, but it wasn't as fast, or as the user interface wasn't as good as using Todoist. So I basically kept my tasks out of Notion, but you can add them in here. And then I picked this up and I've started doing this, which is like a weekly gratitude. What's gone right, what's gone wrong, sort of a review of the week. Now, what is also interesting is I put my like social media numbers in there. So please follow me because I need these to increase. What I've been reading, what I've been learning. These are just text fields. But you can see down here, this is like a reverse thing where you can see these are all the days that I've linked in. But more importantly, you can see it's not exactly a brilliant week, but how many words I've written, how many I've edited. So that brings it all through. And then down below, I have like an action list for each beginning of each week. This is the task database that I was saying about. And then there's like the whole weekly reflection. So there we go. So I have that, and I do that at the end of the week. Now, what I also have, these all live under the planning section. I go to monthly. So my monthly section, all the photos are because I used to work in the collectibles industry, are like these great photos of action figures. Now, all these are copyright their owners. I've stolen these. I'm not publishing these anywhere. These are just purely for my own use. So please keep that in mind. You're not sharing this information. You can have any pictures you like there. So there we go. So there's my August. We're into September now, but I've less using monthly. I'm trying to actually do it a little bit more where what my focus is, what will make me happy. Again, it's these kind of there's plenty of templates out there. I found the reflection actually really good because when I first did it, I was like, I'm really not interested in this at all. But sometimes if you're working on so many projects, especially if you're going for such a long time, you you lose track of what you've done. And so having that weekly reflection to say, actually, I've done a lot this week, and this has gone well. You tend to focus on the negative. You get to the end of the week and went, oh, this went wrong. I didn't write all that much. I'm probably this at the end of this week. I'll probably go, well, because I've been busy with the videos. I haven't got a load of word count done, even though I've kind of become consciously aware of that over a couple of days and put some effort into correcting that. That would be my focus. That's all I would see from the week. So you know, being able to write in there, well, actually, it went pretty well because I launched all these videos. I managed to get them out. I managed to get them uploaded. That's really useful. So Um, so objectives, things that I haven't done. Yeah, you wait till you get to my task. There's loads of stuff I haven't done. You know, this is why you fall to the level of your systems. Um, this is linking through to, I've started doing something where with my social media, like when I've kind of consciously tried to post things, I'm trying to capture some stats on engagement and hashtags I use and things like that. I'm not taking it super seriously, but it's there. And if you like, this is one of the things also to do is sometimes you'll build a system to gather data. And it's not that I'm trying to do massive amounts of social media or trying to kind of push things. And the reason I do kind of focus quite a bit on social media is because I think nowadays as a writer, you've got to promote yourself. So I would much rather get better at that and learn how to do that while I haven't got anything to promote than have something to promote and then suddenly have to ramp everything up. So I've started kind of capturing this. This is like, you know, these are things I've posted to Instagram. I don't know whether I need to capture stuff from Instagram stories and you know other platforms, but um, I'm in the data gathering stage, so it goes in there, filters into there. What learning, gratitude, wins, and normally what I can do is just go through each of my weeks and just kind of pull it all through. Now the best thing is it then it pulls through um, what I've written and what I've edited. Now this is one minor flaw of my system. Sometimes you have a week, as we did back there, which is both in August and in September. And the downside of that is that it will pull into the totals because it pulls in each week. It basically says, right, pull in the writing and editing totals for each of these weeks. So you can see this one, August the 30th to September the 5th. So it's going to pull in 5 days of September. Now, in reality, it kind of evens out. It probably inflates my word count by probably about 2 or 3%, maybe, but it's not enough to really kind of distort things. So you'll see that even though when I'm filming this, it's September, the edited is appearing in August because it's in that week. Maybe one day I'll work out a better way to do it. It's not in the volumes I do. It's not going to make a huge amount of thing. So then we have all these reviews, and I took this from somewhere else. So it's like checklists for the end of the month. So these feed into quarterly. So I don't even know which quarter we're on. I very look at. So quarter 3. There we go in this one. So basically, these give all my goals, my milestones. So the way that kind of its goal orientated is supposed to work is that you have your goals. You say, right, what are the milestones? So if you're writing, say for example, you're writing a book and you want to get it published. So you say, right, I want to write and publish book X. So your goal would be to publish that book. And let's say you're going to self-publish because then you're in control of it. So your milestones would be like write the first draft, send it to a beta reader, edit it, get the cover designed, things like that. So the idea, and then your individual tasks would be write the first draft, chapter 1, and chapter 2, and chapter 3, and things like that. So the idea behind it is to kind of take these big goals and then filter them down. So also, you know, kind of it relates through to there's the backwards link there to what I've been writing. It's not in there because I haven't put it in there because I haven't done the review yet. That's why. So that's it. There we go. So right. So you'll notice here. Here we go. I haven't linked through August's total there because, so here we go. What I've done, where's the quarter? There we go. I've left that empty. There we go. So it is Q3 2021. There we go. Now the reason that's important, there we go, is you see it will now bring in August there, and it's added what I've written and edited as well, with the margin of error. So that's good. So and then we have yearly, and basically this kind of lists all the various quarters, um, and gives me a total of how much I've written and edited. Now you notice we've maybe got a few thousand extra because of where the weeks overlap months. But it's not a huge amount, when you're talking this amount. And that's good because I've said I've done just under 400,000. I've actually done, written, edited, close to 450,000. So that's good. So, and then there's sort of the various reviews and things like that. So, the way this is supposed to work is that at the start of the year you create your goals, and you'll notice, like, some of these, you may not get them all done, but you'll say, right, these are the things that I want to kind of get done over the course of the year. And I then break those down into milestones that I kind of attribute to various quarters or months to get done. And then from there, I will develop tasks that I'll use in ToDoist to kind of manage the day to day. Then I will have these kind of reviews with myself weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, that will kind of filter back up. So the idea is that, if you're working on a first draft as part of your goal to publish book X, then if you're, if you're working on that and you've kind of said, right, I need to get that done in July and August, it's getting into September, you know that you're overrunning. So you can maybe then readjust and say, actually, I need to put a bit more time into that because it's not done, or the book's overrunning, and or like some of us found, you think, well, it's a nice maybe 120,000, 140,000 book, and as you write it, you go, this isn't probably going to end up at 220,000 words as the first draft, so it's going to take me a lot longer. You can kind of check in on yourself at various stages. So you take a big goal, break it down into smaller goals, break that down into tasks, and then you have this review, um, review every kind of week, month, quarter, year to kind of course correct if you need to. So, in truth, basically just filling out that form kind of just got, like literally for like monthly. I have yet to do August because I've been so busy. But literally to go through and, like my objectives was to finish the draft I'm on, which I haven't done, to start the draft of the next thing, which I haven't done, and for me, like what I try and do is I've got commercial work, I've got work that could be commercial, and then I've got work that isn't going to be commercial in any way or any kind of form, but practices my craft. So this is a potential commercial work. This would be as well. Um, this is kind of like my writing pipeline, and then literally, I want to get some experience writing screenplays. So literally, I saw something that somebody said that they literally every month they wrote a new screenplay, and I thought, well, I can't do it every month because literally I've got other things going on. So maybe I'll do it one every quarter. So that's why that's there. So yeah, so that is basically, as I say, I live in this area here. So then, for example, like the social media aspect that I've talked about is I have in here, I have a social media calendar. And this is fairly recent. So this is, for example, the YouTube video for the last Write Productively. So again, I link it into a day so it can sort of filter up what media it is, what project, if there are any tags. Some of these things I've kind of created fields and then I'm not really using, so I might delete them. Which month it relates to, whether it's scheduled or posted. At this time, it's scheduled. It won't go live for another hour or so. What my copy is, hashtags I've used. My thinking here is eventually what I want to kind of build is a hashtag database where I use something to basically to see be able to pull out data from likes, reaches, things like that, to tell me which hashtags are working for me. Tick mark for whether it's posted or not, and that relates to the video planner that I've got. So, and I can add things in there. Now I'm not doing every single tweet, but kind of announcement stuff, um, the kind of marketing aspect of things. So um, it's something I'm developing. I've got the structure in place. This is the thing that I find that what I tend to do is I build the structures and then I will kind of then utilize them to get. First of all, I build the structures to get me data so I can get a good understanding. So, for example, I know from literally entering hundreds of writing metrics, I know how fast I write fiction and non-fiction, simply because I can tell you it's always around 2000. I literally, as I do this every day, I'm like, oh, it's 2000 again. I just pick that up. The other area I will show you, there's loads of other areas in here, as you can see. Now, the important other thing is I have, I'll go on to that in a minute. I have writing metrics. I've shown you writing metrics, haven't I? What was I going to show you? I'm trying to build a habit tracker there. I've got an idea for how I want to build it in the. The writing. There we go. Writing project. So, um, what I have is I have all my different writing projects, and literally. So if we go into, I haven't done Write Productively for some reason. Let's change that date to 1st of September. So it's gone live. Update status is it's ongoing. Video genre, not really a genre at all, so it doesn't relate. Related to a goal. Notes what quarter? It's be Q3. Let's add it in. 2021. A lot of these are linking back. And you can see, like, here we go. Look, literally, you can see how long I've what I've written, how many words I've written. So like when I've written like scripts and things like that, and the total amount of time I've spent on it. Let's pick something a little bit more cursed. Right. So this is first draft novel that I'm working on that is taking forever. It's related to a goal. You can see there. You can see the weeks when I've been working on it. That's a link through from my weeks database. And what you will find here is that I have written 127,000 words, 874. Now, this total may be slightly different from what I have in Scrivener. And there is two reasons for that. It's because one, I might write a scene and then go back the next day and delete it and rewrite it. So my manuscript total may change because of that. And also because of that sort of overlap. But I can tell you, this is how accurate it is. I know that mine, like in Scrivener at the moment, it's just over 125,000. So the surplus is very, very small. It's like not even 2%. But it shows me how many minutes I've spent on it. So again, this is going to be helpful data in the future because I know how long it's taken me to write a first draft. I can add synopsises. I can add feedbacks. Again, I started building all these tasks that you could relate tasks into it. And that is pretty much how I've got my Notion organized. The only other thing I would say is with life pillars, as you go through life, like, so you might see an interesting article, you might do a course on something, um, all those sort of things that you would create a database for, have a little minute spreadsheet for, or create a Word document for. So, like, I have in my fiction area, I'm not going to go into it, but I have like my ideas database. Well, it's not even a ideas database. It's just literally a page where I've just got like ideas for future stuff, non-fiction stuff, article ideas. Here we go. And all of these are related to my life pillars. And this is where it kind of gets important because one, these also link through to how I set my goals. But with my, so if you do like HEMA, so literally this is something I've picked up. Like, okay, so there's something on blade mechanics I've found. Go. And it's just notes to myself. I've tried to become better at taking notes, but whereas I would normally have like an area on my desktop where I would have a folder called HEMA and just put a Word document in there. Basically, I'm keeping it within Notion, and so that literally I know that if I need to find anything, I have my filing system. My filing system is based on my life pillars. So, I have various things. It doesn't really matter what it is. I have an area for games. So, like, World of Warcraft gold making. There we go. I've got things that I've noticed. Just keep notes to myself in there. But I know exactly where to find it because I know, right, which life pillar would it be under. So that is basically how that's my system. That keeps me on track. And you can kind of understand it because what you will find is, for example, if I have 3 or 4 or 5 projects on the go, like I do now, because I have that weekly review and I know what I should be working on. If I haven't done a lot of working, no. So, for example, like my first draft of the novel that's taking forever, 125,000 words in. Basically, if I know I haven't done, if I come when I come to do my weekly review, I know that I haven't done that much work on it this week, and I can kind of course correct. Whereas if I didn't have this system in place, what would happen is I would kind of maybe forget about it, and then suddenly, like 8 weeks down the line, go, "Oh crap, I really need to get back into that." So it kind of just there's little reminders, nothing crazy, This is about having the structure there to support you rather than do the work for you. So the other thing I use is ToDoist. And I like Notion. There is a free version and a paid version. I use paid versions of both of these. I think for Notion, the free version, they changed it recently. I'll need to do a video on what you can get, but it's like maybe limits you on kind of how much space you have and how many things you can do a day. But really, for what we're doing, you should be able to do most of it in a free version. Um, but I mean, like it's like £30 a year, so it's not a huge expense. Likewise with Todoist. So the way that I organise Todoist, you will see down here, pretty much the same. These are all my life pillars. So and so literally, I have this kind of this correlation between my Notion and my task management. And as I say, I could, because of the way this is built, and because it uses the life pillars as kind of the foundation, that's how I could build it within Notion. It's just not user friendly for me. I like both these apps because I can access them remotely. I can access them from anywhere. Um, you know, and they will work offline if you can't get online, then they then sync. Um, so the way that I work in um my Todoist is I use something called GTD, and basically the way it works is that everything I need to do, I put into this inbox, right? And these are literally just notes. I might just see something on my phone. If I'm sat on the support bubble sofa, and I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see an interesting article, I may just say, like, this one, make notes on this. On It's to do with writing speed. I'm not looking to increase my writing speed, but it might be an interesting article to write, to read and make notes on. So I've just put make notes on this. Just That's all I've done, and just posted the link in. So what I'll do each day is the first thing I will do is I will look at all my overdue. So these are all the things that I haven't done. So some of these are kind of monthly things because it's near the start of the month. Yesterday was the first, so some of these are just reminders to myself of things that I need to get done this month. And Most of this was to do with HEMA yesterday, but I was waiting for a few things back. I wanted a few images, and then I got sent the images, and I needed some touch up, and I was on my phone rather than on my laptop, and I couldn't really go through things. Um, and then like go through today, and I have my kind of tasks, and I just check these off. Now, the way that these work is that each of my areas, when I get something through, so let's say I'm going to this is a sample task. Actually, what's better is record video on my systems, right? So when I enter a task, I might just do this from my phone, but what I would do is um, I will triage each day. So I will say, okay, I need to record the systems. Now, I've trained myself to kind of do this. Is that I will say, right, I will allocate it a time. Now, this isn't scientific. I try and kind of block my tasks a little bit. So, I know that, if I have a lot of HEMA tasks, I tend to try and bolt those together on Tuesday. If I have a lot of admin tasks, they tend to be Monday. So I keep that kind of idea in my head. Um, it does mean, like, for example, like today, I've got a load of overdue HEMA tasks because they should have been done Tuesday. They've just kind of, I didn't get a chance because I was doing the videos, and I haven't kind of gone through to forward them to a different date. But let's say record video on my systems. I will set it on a date. So I want to do that today. So let's do that today at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. And what you should see happen is it literally turns to red. And what that means is Notion knows that what I'm trying. Oh, Notion. Todoist knows that I'm trying to add it for a task to be done today. And then I will have an extra thing which I have some labels, and I have homework, online, town, and a few others, but the main ones I use is homework. So, where is this task to be done? So, if it's a day job task, it would be work. If it's like I need to remember to do my laundry, that's at home because it's a physical task. If it's like I need to go on to my online banking and pay my credit card, it's an online task. So record video on my systems. That's really, I need a camera for that. And so it's an at home for me. What you'll find is sometimes it doesn't pick it. You need it to turn red to know that it's basically picked it up. So there we go. So record video on my systems. There we go. I've added that task. Now, what I will then do is I will add it to the relevant project. And I have sub projects here. So I have one for write productively. There we go. So that's just dragged across. And then what you'll see, if you go across to today, loads of things. Some of these tasks that I do, you'll look at them and you'll go like, why have you put brush your teeth? Don't you brush your teeth if you don't remember? But it's sometimes just a little mental check. Um, I tend to use a lot of task management is, have you done this? Have you remembered to do it? I can sometimes be guilty of going into uh, like a work day and getting kind of sucked in and forgetting to do things. So sometimes it's just checking, sort of a check. Uh, so if we look to 10 o'clock, today's a busy day. There we go. We got record video on my own system, on my systems, and then what I can do, you'll see. What I tend to do is I haven't done this for today. Is at the start of the day, I'll go through and I'll go, well, what's overdue. Now I've had the pictures come for all these SOT starts. Now you'll notice they're all overdue. There's loads of them here. So the reason for that is because I tend to batch things together, so they all happened at the same time. So if you look, they were all for Tuesday. I needed to get some photos, and I got those last night and wasn't able to. But this one, so create a Notion template for writers. I'm gonna literally move that to. So I will put something down, and circumstances change. So I don't need to do that Notion template just yet because we're probably going to build it by video, but I do want it at the end of it. So the way I tend to do it is I have different days for different tasks. So that is kind of a Thursday's kind of social media Friday. So a Thursday or a Friday. So I'm going to put that for a Thursday on the 16th. I've just literally thrown that one forward. Um, I may sometimes keep my overdue. Often keep my overdue ones, especially ones that are recurring. You see that little recurring button there? So like do the Notion monthly reviews. That's literally to go through that monthly template. Other ones like get my heating sorted out, get that fixed before it's winter. That's literally just something I need to do sometime this month. So I'll just leave that there. I've got things like sometimes my research. So I'm looking at lots of different writing and just kind of what they do and what tactics they use. So like here, I found a really good article that's about people who write erotica, and it literally goes into the process that they use. So I'm like, well, go through that, have a look at that, see if there's anything, any kind of tricks, tips, productivity hacks that I can pick up. So literally, I my one guilty thing that I have is I have a lot of checks that I kind of do um each day, and it's not about completing tasks. It's just saying, look, remind you, have you read for 30 minutes? Now I haven't, but it's a daily task, and it appears twice for some reason because I. But literally, I'll tick it off, even though I haven't done it. It doesn't matter, but it's kind of that mental reminder to me. Look, keep on track. Are you still reading? Instead of the post to Facebook post link is to do with the climb. I haven't posted that yet. I'm going to leave that on there. Brush teeth. I haven't even had breakfast this morning. Call my weight. That's to do with a commercial project. I want to show that. I'm trying to build habits into this, and this is apparently the best way of doing habits, but I need to be better at it. So things like, drink more water, meditate, video on ToDoist. That's actually what we're doing today. Video planning in Scrivener. This is, oh look, you're going to see a future video. I'm going to cast that forward a couple of weeks. We won't be doing that just yet. That is to do with the SOT stuff. Let's go up there. Sword fighting stuff. Then we go into lunch, and then literally, I want to try and spray my back patio. So literally what I've done is I need to spray my back patio. I need to spray my front patio. I need to shovel the back. And these are tasks. And what happens is you'll find that they start clumping together. So like you've got up here, all my sword fighting ones are clumped together. That's deliberate. Because what I will do is probably after I've done this video, if I've got time today, is I will do all of those at the same time and get those all done. So the idea is that as you go along, as you can see, similar tasks kind of filter through and get done at the same time. And that's kind of like to do with task batching, and it filters through. So yeah, so that's basically 45 minutes. Gosh, it went on for a bit longer than I think. But that's basically my system at the moment, and I will improve it as I go through and as I do more things. You know, there's plenty of there that we can go through in the future videos. I'm going to show you how to kind of build all this. But obviously, if you can think of something different, you know, you've got to build this for how you work. Let me delete that while I remember. You have to build it for how you want. There we go. So you'll take what I do and you'll adapt it, and I hope that as you adapt it, you'll kind of feedback as well. So there's a lot of other things that I'm doing. I've got, like, as I say, to do with the social media. I've been building this out recently. I've started like video plans. I watched a video the other day which was about video ideas and basically how to do it. So different videos. So, you know, for example, that one, new projects, I've done that, I've posted it. That's where it is. That links through to the social media. I had a load of ideas for Warcraft ones I wanted to do. This I copied this from somebody else to do with habits. It doesn't work for me. So I'm not going to do that. I have submissions database that I'm building as well there. So it links through to projects and then like markets. So I can see when it's sent, accepted thing, how much money I made from it. And then notes on various things, so to do with fiction. But more the database stuff tends to be in the planning section. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Really interested to kind of hear what you think. And over the, you know, we're not just going to solely be looking at building this in the channel, but over the next, you know, few weeks and months, we'll start putting something like this together. So start thinking about your systems and how you work, and thinking how some of these things could maybe apply to you. So thank you for joining today, and I'm trying to think when this goes. It goes live on Friday, so probably Monday I'm going to have another video up. I'm going to try and get a few. I want to get a kind of solid bank of videos done, so you're going to get quite a bit of content at the moment. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know your suggestions in the comments below, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.